It's really sunny in here.
Yeah, no, the future's bright at the bridge.
How bright? Centurion bright?
I mean, you already know how it is, right? We experiment, right? We get it wrong, and then we adjust. That is the way. That is the Chelsea way.
Hmm.
That is the Chelsea way. We adjust. We make the adjustments, and then they pay dividend. So, at first you don't get the fish on the first cast, right? Sometimes it takes another.
Oh, oh. So you fish now?
Oh, on my off days? I mean, come on, man. My father used to be a fisherman, kind of like Enzo Maresca's father used to be a fisherman as well. So, um, yeah, yeah. We share similarities. Uh,
Did your father also wear sunglasses indoors?
I usually after the Champions League wins for Chelsea, yes, I did catch him with sunglasses here and there.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're happy with that win?
I'm happy with the cojones my manager is showing. Truly,
The
truly,
cojones.
the cojones. You gotta have cojones, man. You gotta have cojones. And better yet, you gotta have the ability to adapt in real time. And he showed that he can do both. So, yeah, man.
Greatest manager of all time?
Listen, come on, man. First, let Rose Senior bring us to the promised land, right? That is another Champions League trophy, a few more
Hmm.
Premier League titles here and there, and then we can come to that discussion.
So you're so you're guaranteeing that not only will he finish this season, but he will be your manager or your coach come the end of next season.
He will definitely be. He will finish the season.
Okay.
At this point, yeah, I'm pretty convinced he will finish the season.
Okay. What about next season?
And the next season, I mean, if he finishes this season,
Because you're
and
talking about the promised land, so I don't want any context. I just want you to put your money where your mouth is. Is Liam Rossinier going to be the coach of Chelsea
Real
next season?
senior, real senior, please, senior,
Is
please.
he
Por
going to
favor.
be the coach for
Hmm.
Chelsea end of next season?
Yes, he will.
All right. CJ, we got it clipped.
Will Arteta be?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I mean,
He's going to do the double.
mm. going. Listen, with the trend that you guys are going with, I think he can be there for the next six more years, maybe, right?
It's a good thing that he'll be there.
Another six stories. Uh,
Another six stories. Yep.
yeah, but that is the majestic, tallest building in all of Europe, the Emirates, as they call it, the Emirates. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Still under development, ladies and gentlemen.
It actually is. They're developing it further actually.
To be completed. You know how usually when they come out with these big projects, these big skyscrapers, they give you that end date 2020 2036 shopping malls, this and that. And then we get there and then it's like the LRT or whatever it is all over again. Delayed by another five, few years, and turns out the project needs a bit more time. So, wishing you guys the best of luck, I will say. Um, and other than that, I think we are ready to roll.
Thank God those classes came off. All right, now we can actually start. CJ, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm just hoping, Laurent,
Hmm.
that here's what I want you to do. I want, regardless, in two podcasts from now, regardless of the result in the cup semifinal,
Hmm.
you come on with those shades, regardless of the result.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the promised land and this and that and all the things that Senior, you said,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those things that you said that he's gonna do for you. Um, I think you might be disappointed at the start
Really?
of next week. Yeah, yeah. So
Really? Okay, well, hold on. You guys are acting like even this cup, this specific cup, right, was something that when he came on, we said he's gonna win for us. No. I remember even before that game, I explicitly said, right, that we expected not to get the result. It was more so about seeing, okay, how can he perform, right, under the stress, facing a well-established team. And he held his own. He held his own, and we managed to come back. Uh, yeah, we were down, and then Garnacho helped us come back and make that a 3-2 game. Okay, so now, right, there's that return leg. We will cover this in the upcoming podcast. But again, to me, it's more so about seeing a solid performance, something that we can take on, right? That we can, if we win, great, by all means. But and again, who am I to speak for him? Because listen, the guy says it himself. At Chelsea, the standard is to win. So I'm pretty sure he's going in there to win, right? So I think even me coming like this, he probably wouldn't approve of me trying to undermine what we can achieve in that game. But beyond that, right? I think it is very important that the team still shows that we can perform, and show that how the system is going to operate and look like going forward. So that's the most important part, results aside.
okay. So almost you're saying that that one is essentially like a free hit then, like win or lose, you're cool.
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. I mean, we still got the Champions League to play for. And listen, I don't know why you're laughing, Murdat. I have no idea what you're laughing.
I'm just looking at my screen. That's why something funny popped up.
Oh, okay. What's I mean, feel free to share. Feel free to share, man. Feel free to
Yeah,
share what.
yeah. It just wrote Laurent
Mm.
and Piana's preseason prediction, Chelsea Centurion, and it just made me laugh.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, no, I think
Manager of the year, Enzo Maresca.
mm, hey man, such
Oh.
such such is the story. It is what it is, and we've moved on from there. We moved on from that chapter in our life, and now we are all Chelsea fans are fully on board on the Liam Rosnor express train to the promised land. So,
Wow.
Well, from an Arsenal perspective, because this is an Arsenal centric podcast, not a Chelsea centric podcast. Kai Havertz is back. Kai Havertz is back. One of the dumbest statistics that I've ever heard today. Kai Havertz is only the second player in Arsenal history to score a goal against a team that the first three letters are the same. Kairat, Kai. The other person was Lee Dixon against Leeds. The dumbest stat I ever heard listening to an Arsenal podcast. Um, but Kai Havertz is back. Year on the shelf. Um, he looked good. He looked good, and I think that the he may fix a lot of the issues that we have up top. I still worry about how many minutes he's going to be able to play, given his injury and the significance of it and how slowly they've brought him back. But he may be a crucial part of this part of the season for us. You saw what he was doing with Gyökeres. You saw him and his interplay with Eze. I really hope that this wasn't just due to it being Kairat. I really hope that this is more to come based off of Arteta's press conference. Um, I mean, again, we conceded two goals, sloppy goals. Calafiori, like, I don't know, CJ, was it that was boneheaded, right? Like that was like just him not being match sharp.
Hmm.
Because Kepa was right there. Like I don't understand why he did that.
Yeah, definitely put that down to a bit of rust, lacking match sharpness, game sharpness. But he does that. He has that in him sometimes. I notice he does that. He'll pick up stupid yellow cards for things like that. Just silly pullbacks. He did it in the Chelsea game in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge. He's done it a few times where he's a little bit late to the action and then he'll kind of drag the opponent down. This time he did it in the box, which is silly because for obvious reasons, right? But I think in this case, yeah, he wasn't aware of his whereabouts. It's the first couple of minutes of the game. It's his first game back in a few weeks to a month. So whilst it's not an excuse, it's like, yeah, that's clearly lacking a guy lacking match sharpness. But just fortunate it didn't cost us in the end.
And we're conceding a lot recently. We are conceding a lot. Um, it's not a good sign, but I also think it's a good sign at the same time, if you know what I'm saying. It's not a good sign in the sense that why are we conceding so much, but it's a good sign because it's humbling the players to realize you're not going to go the entire season, you know, not conceding or not conceding 2 to 3 goals. Um, I know one of the big questions coming off of this game, based off of our last pod, is actually before I get to that, any other comments on the game from you two before I move on to other context from this game?
For
Mm,
me,
yeah, go on.
oh, well, no, I was just gonna say quickly. For me, not really. Like honestly, I think there's only so much you can analyze this game specifically, right? Just because of the caliber of the opposition. Like, let's be honest. I think the three of us can put together a side now, picking guys up off the street that can play against that Kairat team and do a better job. If I'm being completely honest, with all due respect, to them, but the caliber of opposition was poor. I think they would be a League One side in England at best. I'm talking third division in England. Um, so I don't want to get too carried away with the individual performances. Um, Either way, but I think the most important thing is that the players got minutes. Certain players got minutes that they needed. To be honest with you, and yeah, it's you gotta. I think this was a perfect game immediately after the United result for us to just bounce back and just get a feel good factor win under our belt. Although I say that in the post game, apparently Arteta didn't look too pleased with in the post game pressers because he wasn't too. Whilst obviously he's happy we won, I think the performance still was worrying in some senses,
Lacking.
and yeah, in the sense that the game was really close still, and the second half we were very wasteful, right? We were very wasteful. Um, should have put away our chances. I think Noni Madueke had a typical Noni Madueke game. Just brilliant up until the final action, right? The end product. I don't know if you guys saw the highlights of that one ball that he put in the top tier of the stands. Essentially, that he got into the box, did all the hard work, and then that he skied that ball. Pretty much like an NFL field goal type thing. So things like that. Obviously, Jesus, right? Typical Jesus, missing chances as well. Like Jesus is also brilliant, and he's a brilliant footballer, Jesus, but he's also not particularly clinical. I saw that yesterday in the game as well.
I swear the ball ended up in the back of the net. It's just he was offside
He
for.
was offside, yeah. So yeah, overall, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's I think the manager would be disappointed, as I was hearing and as I was seeing with facial expressions and whatnot, that he was
Mm-hmm.
disappointed that the margin wasn't better. You want to make that a more convincing win again, especially after a result like the one against United on the weekend, right? You want to make that Kairat game yesterday a convincing win, the 3-4-0, exciting football, goals galore at home, something to get the fans excited again, going into this weekend and for the rest of the season, But the fact that was like another little dodgy 3-2 win, I think wasn't the type of performance and result that the manager would have been looking for in terms of a feel good factor. But like I said, I'm going to try and stay level headed about that because we made a load of changes, and you can tell from the fans to the players themselves. No, it was just about going through the motions in that game and kind of just getting through it, really. Because there's obviously bigger tests ahead.
Wait, so you're saying in regards to because before this game, I mean, the big talking point was the lack of goals,
Mm-hmm.
or the lack of I guess what you guys would deem quality goals,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think you guys even had 11 corners this game. You didn't score from corners. You didn't score from own goals, right? So you guys were able to put the ball in the back of the net. That first play, Havertz, through ball to Gyökeres, right? And then he's in on goal. So for me, I don't know, like that, him playing in that position. Because now there's a question to be had, right? Yes, the opposition, but in terms of just even the movement, right? The availability of passes, right? In terms of pattern of plays that can potentially happen. Would he be better suited in that midfield role, or is he going to revert to being back up top at the nine position?
Kai Havertz you're talking about, right?
Yes, yes, Havertz, yeah. Because it seems like the link-up play with him and Gyökeres, right? It seems to be something that, frankly, you should have seen games ago, right? With whoever is supposed to be feeding Gyökeres, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? What does that look like going forward?
It's Kairat. I'm not going to take anything from it. It's just good to see that Kai has the sense and like it didn't look like he had rust after
Mm,
being
Hmm.
off for a year. It's Kairat. Like, is he good in the midfield? Can he push Gyökeres? Can he push an Odegaard? Can he push an Eze? Yeah. But to say off of this performance and this opponent that is he better suited in the midfield? No, not at this moment in time.
mm,
Right? Like again, we don't have a lot of like gimme games to try different things. If we had taken advantage of our opportunities, maybe we would have. But at this point, no. I think if Arteta, if I'm understanding the conservativeness of him, I think he's gonna put Kai back up top. Maybe in certain games, if he wants to take Martinelli off or he wants to take like Zubamendi off and sit Declan Rice and bring on Gyökeres, yeah, sure, I can definitely see Kai dropping into that left eight. But no, not a no.
okay.
I don't know, CJ, do you agree?
It looks good. Like it looked it what I liked about it is that because like you said, yeah, like despite the opposition, there's still certain habits that you'll see in a game, right? That you like to see. And that was for me in this game was simply the fact that we were, forward passing. Like Kai Havertz, you can tell his first instinct was to drive forward when he got the ball, right? Drive forward and look to play Gyökeres in the early. And at least you're looking for those runs in behind, right?
Right.
That's something that you like to see, whereas an Odegaard, and we're gonna get to him shortly when we talk about where we go from here on Odegaard, even in this game, the second half, our play and the tempo of our play slowed down, and some would say again that's largely due to the fact that Odegaard came on. Right, the halftime sub was made. Kai Havertz came out. Odegaard came in, and I just felt like we just reverted back to a little bit more slow, possession based, controlled side to side football. Whereas in the first half, it definitely looked like we were going more indirect. We weren't really giving their back line a moment's rest. Right, every time Kai or whatever got the ball, whether he's making forward passes or he's trying to get in beyond and running behind himself, right, running to get close to Gyökeres when that ball goes over the top. Right, we saw that combined for even the Kai Havertz's goal himself. Right, both Gyökeres and Havertz made that run. Whilst they did occupy a similar space and ran into a similar channel, I mean, it worked in the end, and they combined for the goal. But it's just the fact that Havertz is looking to be direct, right? He's looking to, like I said, either drive with the ball forward, make that, play that ball through the lines, i.e., Gyökeres' first goal, or even just make forward runs himself, right? So it's not a matter of standing still. It's not a matter of lateral movement side to side like Odegaard likes to do. It's the fact that he's trying to be more direct and not really give that their back line a moment's rest to settle and get into shape. You know what I mean? Whereas it feels like every time Odegaard gets on the ball, even in this game, it's like everything's in front of their defense. You know what I mean? As opposed to trying to go in behind or trying to get them turned. So I think that was still a similar thing, a similar theme in this game as well with Odegaard, right? He just comes on the pitch, and I've really started to pay a lot more attention to that lately, because there is a narrative going around that generally when Odegaard is on the pitch, we tend to play slower and we play more controlled, and we play, a game that's lacking in tempo. So I actually am starting to fully believe that is down to him when he's on the pitch. To be honest with you, that's what it looks like to me.
Um, just connecting this game to the United game. Do we do we think that Havertz is going to solve issues, or do we think that unless Mikel makes a tough decision of benching the captain, we're still going to revert back to East-West play versus North-South?
Hmm. You want to go first on this one, Laurent? Or
Well, I'll say this much. Um, the cojones I was referring to, that's what it takes. That's what it takes at this moment in time. I know Murdat said that you don't have that much, or sorry, that many games to. I don't know what the term it was I use.
You don't have the games. You don't have the
gimme games,
freedom.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the breathing space to
right.
experiment at this point.
But and again, bro, that's what I'm saying. You just take a playbook from the boy. You have a game versus Napoli that you have to win. And you can. Why not? Why not do it? Why not do it?
Yeah, the context is different though, man. The context is completely different. You guys
Okay,
weren't going to be out anyways. You guys were just going to play an extra two games. Dude, it was it was a win-win situation. Even if you lose,
mm,
you're still in the Champions League. You're talking about like a league where you have people chasing you and you can't be dropping points. Whereas in the Champions League, if you guys lost that game or drew that game, who knows what would have happened, right? If you're talking
mm,
about cojones, the only manager this weekend that showed his cojones was Jose Mourinho.
Mm.
So, like, if we're being serious, and remember, like, I know what you're trying to say, and I know the narrative that Chelsea fans are all trying to create. This is a free hit for Rosini. The only thing that he has to accomplish this year
Senior.
is is to get into the Champions League spot for next year. That's the only thing he has to accomplish. There's nothing else. Everything else is a bonus for him.
That's
So
true.
of course, he's gonna go with more risk.
That's
It's
true.
like when you bring a young guy into a team, right? Like they play free because they're not considering the consequences. They're just playing. That's why you like that young energy in a squad, right? But when you have a team that's finished second three times in a row that has struggled to actually finish and maintain that position, of course they're going to be a little bit more conservative. So I think the narrative I see the narrative that you're trying to say. I understand where it's coming from, but the longevity of things, what Liam is doing is not going to last long term. If he wants to play like that, he'll be gone faster than Enzo Maresca.
Wait, so what are you telling me in regards to Arsenal that you guys have the luxury of keeping things the same? Because either way, when
Not
you
the
mention
no, we don't have the luxury of keeping things the same.
right, so then you have to dismantleize whatever conservative attitude your manager currently has.
I
You
agree with
truly
you,
do.
and I think the way that he's going to do it is he's going to make that ruthless decision of either dropping Odegaard for Eze,
Mm,
or he's going to have to play Eze in the left wing. Because as much as Trossard's been killing it, something needs to change, right? You
okay,
can't keep playing Adrian Timber as much as I love the man and I think he's a phenomenal defender. You need to have a left footer on the left side, like a Lewis Skelly.
right.
Right? You need that for the cohesiveness on the left side because we're very one dimensional right now.
Okay, but that thing when you say Eze on the left wing, from what we've seen thus far this season, Eze on the left wing has not looked too promising, right? If we're being
Of
objective.
course,
Well,
you're
we
right.
haven't seen it a lot though.
We've
We
seen
haven't
it
seen it a lot.
once or twice, and the one time that he messed up, he's been exiled from that position.
Which is unfair.
Which, like I agree with you, it's completely unfair.
Mm,
But when I'm trying to explain like how Arteta is going to make that change, that's a conservative change, right? You're popping Eze there and you're causing mayhem, but you need to have a left footer on that left side,
right.
right? You're getting more creative players on the field, and you can get that rotation with Declan Rice popping up in those positions, or Lewis Skelly or Nkapie, because Nkapie likes to bomb forward. But to fully change, like what I would love for him to do, which he will never do this, is when you're at home and you're facing like a Burnley or I think we're facing Sunderland at home in 2 weeks. Yes,
Yeah.
I know they're a good side. Fucking play Eze and Odegaard in the midfield with uh, Declan Rice as a sitter. And if you're really concerned about the defensive side, put Martinelli on the wing. Right, Gyökeres has good work rate.
Mm.
Like you're talking about, making that statement. Okay, I'm gonna make the statement at home. Away from home, okay, play a little bit more conservative. I get it, but sorry, I'm kind of taking away from this. But like what you're saying, Laurent. Like again, I don't want to undermine what you're saying and the narrative that you're trying to create. But we're in a different. Like both clubs are in completely different stages of development. For example, right? You guys are like Liam's getting the free hit. We're the senior side that needs to just get it over the line. Once we get it over the line, I think you will see us making more like making more risky plays. Like for example, I'm sorry I'm taking this segment away, but like for me, if we make it to the Carabao Cup final and we beat Man City or whoever is in the final, I think you will see us play a lot more free and have a lot more swagger. Versus if we go to the Carabao Cup final and we lose, you're gonna see the shell, right? You're gonna see some players going to the shell.
Mm.
At least that's the way that I'm seeing it. Maybe I'm overanalyzing this. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, but that's the way I'm processing what's going on right now. Because the last few weeks has been tough. So sorry, I didn't mean to take CJ. I didn't mean to take away the segment from you, but yeah, we'll
No, you
finish
didn't.
this
You
one.
didn't. Oh. Yeah, I actually echo a lot of what you said. I think that's a good point that you made there actually. With regards to, why, I know because again, Laurent's talking about, Rosinha essentially, being that risk taker right now, or experimenting, trying things, being brave essentially with lineups and formations and whatnot. And I don't really think about that until you said that. It's a good counterpoint that you bring up in the sense that, like, I guess he can afford to more so right now because it actually is true. He doesn't have much to lose right now, right? He's here halfway through the season. So a lot of the work that's been done already is Enzo's work. And there would have been no expectation at this point, on his remit from the board up saying, hey, you have to win the Champions League this season or you have to win the Carabao Cup, Premier League, so on, Well, no, he's going to get a clean slate, full slate next season. So at most, he's going to be expected to get this Chelsea team into the Champions League spots via the Premier League. Whereas Arteta, has his remit this season from everybody. Everybody knows what he's got to do this season, right? In terms of bringing tangible success. So it's a great point. He does not have much room, one would say to be as brave and as experimental because 6 years in, why are you still experimenting? Why are you still not sure of what you want to do? Um, it's interesting, like even the likes of Thierry Henry have said it, and few people have been talking about it in the last couple of weeks. We've asked Arteta to be top of the league at this point, and he is. No matter whether we like the football or not, right? We didn't say the football has to be pretty. We just said you need to be top of the league. You need to win the Premier League. And at this point, if the season ended today, we're winning the Premier League, right? We're in first place in all the competitions that we need to be in. So we asked him, like, whatever method he wants to get us there by, right? It's his method, and his method will get us over the line. If we do get that trophy at the end of the season, I'll stop criticizing the football. Nobody can say anything about the football. It's because we've won, right? So by that metric, like what he's doing is working to this point. Where my issue is now is that we've talked about it all week this week, so that leads us on nicely into our big talking point this segment. Because me personally, I'm still not over that United game. It's been bothering me all week.
Mm-hmm.
It really has. Losing to United is painful, as we mentioned before. And there's still scars from that game that's gonna bother me all week until we put it right. Right. So I've been looking forward to this Leeds game all week, honestly, and I'm hoping that we put it right. But the underlying issues in that game were certain things we saw coming. Right. We saw coming a result like this because we've been playing sort of poor. For the last couple of weeks, even if we were picking up results, a couple of draws here and there, but the football wasn't great. And so now when you see the football that's got us to this point, yes, but when, again, like I've been saying, when the points gap at the top is starting to diminish, right? We've gone from 7 points where it could have been 11 at the stage, and now it's only 4. And if that points gap continues to reduce, playing the football that we're still playing, that's a problem. And a lot of people have been questioning Arteta and saying he doesn't have a plan B, right? This is his plan A, and it's going to be plan A or nothing. So we're looking for more adaptability now in the sense that when it's not working, you got to do something. You got to do something different now, right? And I think that's the point we're at. We've been talking about it all week in our group chat about coming up in our own heads with what kind of lineups and personnel we can use to change things, right? Because I don't want to. What we don't need, what we can't have happen is, you know, oh, it's only 4 points now, and then oh no, don't worry, it's only 1 point, and then now all of a sudden it's we're 2 points behind a City or even a Villa, right? Let's not disrespect them, right? So we can't be complacent. We're still in a position of strength. So we have to talk about how we can improve from a position of strength. And we're still at the top, right? We can't afford to be 2 points, 3 points, 4 points behind, right? By being complacent and then saying, oh shit, now things need to change. Like, let's talk about it now whilst the train is coming behind us. You know what I mean? And so I think things need to start changing now, essentially, in terms of personnel, right? And one of the big calls that I think he needs to make is that we just talked about it briefly when we talked about the Kairat game in the Champions League. Odegaard has been under the microscope all week as well. Not just all week, for the last while, for the last 18 months, some would say, right? Because last season he had a poor season. There were circumstances to that. He was injured, whatever. People use the excuse that he had a child last season, although he's not the one that gave birth or he's not the one breastfeeding. So I don't know why that was an excuse. But he had a tough season last season, but he was allowed that one, tough season, that one off because, he's had some credit in the bank. The couple seasons before he was pivotal in being in our title races. So you're only going to get limited time off, as they say, right? You're not going to get this season off as well. You got to perform. You got to bounce back this season. You're a high earner. You're captain of the club. We're not going to give you this season as well. And so far, the signs have not been great, right? He's carrying a trend of poor form from last season, and we can't carry any passengers at this time, right? We're halfway through, and you still have not delivered what we are expecting. And you're the first person. That's the point of blame. Mostly because a lot of things go through him, right? He's Arteta's captain he's Arteta on the pitch, right? He's the leader on the pitch. Everything that Arteta instructs goes through Odegaard on the pitch, and we can see it with our style of play. Again, it's slow, it's controlled, it's lethargic, it's sideways, and a lot of that runs through him and our Odegaard style of play at this moment in time. He's not playing the way we need to play. He's not playing direct. It's very just underwhelming. It's conservative football. And so I think it starts from him, and Arteta needs to be brave enough to be able to drop him when he's not playing well. And the reason why I bring up the Eze thing when I say it's unfair that he was dropped for one error in the Aston Villa game where he didn't track his man, he was dropped, and we haven't seen him really too much since. And other players get it too. Other players get dropped if they're not performing. But Odegaard, he stays in the team week in, week out. I don't care if you're the captain. If you're not performing, you should be the first person hooked, because that's not good enough. I don't know any other captain that gets hooked as much as he does in the middle of games. Right? He came off in the 50-something minute last game. Like I said, when we're in a title race and you're playing a big game and a big rival, when have you ever seen Thierry Henry get hooked at that stage of a game? Or like I said, your other talisman, Roy Keane, and Eden Hazard, a Drogba, a Terry, your big players, your captains, your talisman, they don't get pulled off or dragged off in those moments. Your captain should stay on the pitch and help steer the ship when you're in a title race. And so the fact that he got dragged is, one, it's a step in the right direction. It means that Arteta's showing that he will pull him off, but now you got to pull him out of the lineup altogether, right? And for me, he doesn't start this weekend. I think we've talked about it, right? We've talked about it this week, what some of the personnel looks like. And I've mentioned different solutions. I said, our best form, our best open play football and productive football has come in this season when we've had Mikel Merino up top. And it sounds like a joke because we bought in all this money for strikers and this and that. But let's be honest with ourselves, right? Anybody who's watched us, the eye test will show you. And then the results earlier this season has shown us, Bayern Munich at home, Atletico Madrid at home, Spurs in the derby, that run where we went like 16, 17 games unbeaten until we played Villa in December. Who was starting up top? It was Mikel Merino and it was Eze and behind him. These are the kind of things that we need to, when we're having these stuttering moments and we're not picking up the results the way we should be at the moment, you have to kind of look back and say, okay, what was working for us earlier on in the season, or what kind of personnel was getting us the wins and the results that we needed, And it's things like that you gotta try. You gotta be brave enough to make those decisions if you're the manager, And like I said, it starts with the captain, and Odegaard needs to be dropped because he even needs himself to know that, listen, my position is not safe. Just because I'm wearing the armband, it doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
I can be dropped too. And if I want to get back in this team, and carry the team to the title race, I need to pick up my shit. He's at this moment in time thinking, oh, I can play poor, but I know I'm still going to start next weekend. Like that's not the mentality that we need. You should
That's
be
why you
taking
bring in an
comments.
Eze, though. That's why you bring in an Eze so that you
Correct.
compete in that position.
Correct. And he should be taking, Tony Adams. We go back to Tony Adams' comments, right? For those who don't know, Tony Adams, Mr. Arsenal himself, the best captain this club has ever seen, is Tony Adams. When people like that talk, you listen, right? Tony Adams said, "I don't think that Arsenal can win a league with Odegaard as captain." He said that Declan Rice should be captain, and he doesn't believe that Odegaard can be the captain and lead us to where we need to get to.
Wait,
And
when you say that?
Odegaard should be. He said that sort of at the beginning of the season.
Mm.
Yeah, he said that at the beginning of the season, and a lot of people criticized him for it. But at this moment in time, again, it's kind of proving, somewhat correct. It's like he's not performing well, Odegaard, and our position is under threat at the top. And it's true, right? It's true. These guys don't just talk out of their ass, man. These are guys that have been there and done it. And so if I'm Odegaard, I'm taking that personally again. But he's not that kind of character, and that's what pisses me off,
No,
right? I
like
want a Declan Rice kind of character. I want a Gabriel character who's gonna, grab guys and the type of guys that are gonna drape you up in the dressing room and say, "Yo, fix up if you're not performing well. What are you doing, boys? This isn't good enough." Wolves at home when we scraped that 2-1 win. Um, Odegaard and guys like that are going around the pitch clapping the fans and this and that. Yes, boys, we won. No, the guys like Declan Rice are coming off the pitch saying that's fucking shit. Getting in the dressing room and giving it to guys, letting them know this is not good enough. Like that's the kind of captain that I want. And those are the kind of captains that get you over the line. And so I tend to agree with the likes of, Tony Adams or Patrick Vieira, legends of our past who've been there, done that, and gotten over the line and criticizing the mentality of the club and the captain. It's true. You know what I mean? So he's got to be brave, Arteta. I think Odegaard needs a wake up call. He needs to be dropped, I think, and that's one of the first things I need to change in the team because I want to see us play starting this weekend. I need to see us play more direct football. The combinations as you guys mentioned with Kai Havertz and Gyökeres. Again, the opposition aside, it's the thought process, it's the muscle memory, it's the patterns of play of knowing, okay, as soon as I get that ball, I'm thinking my first thing is forward as opposed to sideways. Let me get the ball sideways to Saka all the time. No, let's get the ball forward. Let's try and get runs in behind. Let's try and get players in behind, and let's try and get their defense turned. It's a different mentality. And I actually fully think, we as I said all week, we were talking about the Marino Eze combinations and who plays in number 10. We didn't talk about Kai Havertz because we're not sure of his fitness status. But to me, he's looking good. He's looking fit. And if he was more up to speed, I would genuinely use him as an
100.
option in
Yeah.
that number 10 position or even as a striker position. So I think coming full circle, Havertz could actually be key to our run-in. And if and when he gets up to speed, he probably needs to be in this team. Let's be honest. Whether it's in the number 10 or up top or both. Because that
Yeah.
combination of him and Gyökeres does look good. And if we can get them playing close together, I think that could be cause some troubles for Premier League back lines. To be honest,
I think this weekend, um, just last thing before we move on, I think this weekend, I think you're absolutely right. I think Odegaard's going to get dropped. And I
do you think
think,
he will?
I,
That's what I'm saying. Do you think he will? I don't think Arteta's
I,
going to drop
I,
him.
I think, I think he will.
Hmm.
And if he doesn't, like, this is the game to do it because you want to go there and make a statement. And I think he should play Gyökeres up top because you saw that Eze would feed Gyökeres the same way that he fed Marino. He could have fed Gyökeres, but Gyökeres was injured during that time. And looking at the fixtures this weekend, like Spurs are hosting City, Liverpool are versus Newcastle, Aston Villa, Brentford. Yes, Villa should win that game, but
Won't
there's
be
an
easy.
opportunity for Villa and City to drop points.
Hmm.
And I don't want to just go to Elland Road where, you know, they have been playing well. I want to go there and make them feel scared. And if you're worried about Eze's work rate, play Martinelli. You know what you're gonna get out of him. You know he's good, and he's earned it. He like in the Champions League game, he's earned it. He's always there and thereabouts, tracking back. Yes, those are the kilometers that you don't see on the stat sheet. Those are things that you don't see. But if you're really concerned about Eze's defensive work rate, like that's why you have a Gabriel Saliba. That's why you have a Zubamendi and Rice. So for
True.
me, like if he doesn't drop Odegaard, I don't know when he would. Right? Like I know I mean I'm kind of contradicting myself, and I know I said there isn't a lot of games for him for Mikel to experiment, but these next 2 weeks, like we face Leeds away, then we host Sunderland, but not even just looking at our games, like next week City head to Anfield,
Liverpool, yeah.
and then Villa go to the Vitality, and we're hosting Sunderland. So if you are gonna do something radical, do it now. Do it now. You. Yes, I understand it was Kairat. Yes, I understand Leeds would probably beat Kairat. But this is the same Leeds team that we beat 5-0. Go there and make a statement. That's what I'm looking for. Is he gonna do it, CJ? Unfortunately, I think you're right. I don't think he will. But if there is a game to say, okay, go do it now. Eze, this is your chance. Take it and run with
Hmm.
it. As long as you play well and you do what you're supposed to do, run with it. Right? We don't need to necessarily play like a three flat like this with a right eight and left eight. Play it the other way. Have two holders and then put Eze in front of them. So what?
Hmm.
So what? Um, just quickly, I know that the we've seen the bracket for the Champions League. We can quickly chat about it. I just want to give a huge shout out to all the Premier League teams. We all made it. Um, Newcastle, they didn't make it in the top eight. They do have to play the extra qualifier. They had a really tough game against PSG. There was a penalty shout. I didn't watch the game, but Eddie Howe, I listened to the post match conference, and he was quite colorful with his words, not understanding the penalty shout. So they do have to play an extra game. Um,
That's still a pretty good result for them, though. Eh? We predicted
Very
them to
good.
lose, all of us. So
Very
to
good.
go there and get a draw is good.
Yeah, and Vitinha, oh my, Vitinha is next level, man.
Mm.
He is next level. Man City beating Galatasaray 2-0. I mean, it's Man City. What is there? So you knew that there was going to be a reaction. And ironically enough, there is a very high likelihood that we may face them in the quarters. And that'd be the same time that we would face them in the Carabao Cup
Cup
final,
final, yeah.
and then going to the Etihad in the Prem. So there's a chance that we'd face them 4 times in a span of a month, which is not ideal.
No.
But which Laurent has alluded to this many times before. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Whoever gets put in front of you, you got to take it to them. So um, Laurent, our Thomas Frank meter is still going, man.
Yeah, no, that guy is it's cooled off. The meter has cooled off.
Bro, he how many lives does this cat have? This guy is unbelievable.
mm,
Um
I feel like
yeah.
that goes for a couple managers in the Prem too. Eh? Arnie Slot. The Champions League is keeping him alive too, I think, probably.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
think with Frank it's different, bro, because that guy
No, no.
should have been
Frank
gone.
is
That
yeah.
guy,
Yeah, yeah,
that
it's
guy
true.
should have been gone, bro. But
It's
yeah,
true.
This is the only time you'll hear me say it. Slot has credit in the bank. That's the only time you'll hear me say it.
Oh shit. Let me clean my ears. Say that again.
No, 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 no. You heard it once. You can listen to the recording again. Um, so I guess Laurent Karabag is beatable, eh?
yeah, yeah. I
Ah,
mean, when you're not managed by Maresca, yeah,
oh, here come the
of
excuses.
course, man. Of course. You see what happens when you play and you're not conservative, right? Because we like to use that word on this podcast as well as the P word. Yeah, you get to score
Hmm.
six unanswered. Yeah, so no, good kudos to them, man. Kudos to them. And what was pretty interesting was five different of their forward players, right? Were able to find the net, including the guy that hasn't been participating in the group project. So that's good to see. Shout out to Florian Wirtz. And yeah, apart from that, I
PFA
think
Player of the Year, Florian Wirtz.
yeah, that guy. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, no, but honestly, man, again, it's the opposition, right? So I'd say, not take too much from it, but it's good to see for Liverpool. If I'm a Liverpool fan,
but
mhm.
but I'm a little. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Before I
Yeah, and I was
start,
gonna say if I'm a Liverpool fan, yeah, then I'm definitely excited, right?
I'm excited and nervous because Frimpong is out for 4 weeks. Sorry, yeah, 4 to 6 weeks apparently with a hamstring injury.
Mm.
Gravenberch was playing center back. Um, there's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of question marks for Liverpool, and they have a tough run of games.
Wait, is Konate? I'm assuming Konate is injured as well.
I don't know if he was. I mean, he wasn't even in the roster. Like I'm looking at their lineup, he wasn't even on the bench.
Mm.
Kanate. So I'm assuming so, but it was good. Obviously, an unreal game, scoring six, but question marks around fit players. Um, and then last but not least, Chelsea. They needed. I mean, I don't want to say they needed to win, but they made their lives a hell of a lot easier by winning, beating Napoli 3-2.
Wonder Strike, Wonder Strike. For those of you who did not see that, man, just go on YouTube right now and search because that is how you hit a ball on your wrong foot and you take your chances, right? None of that willing to go into the um into the box. And even when you get into the box and your name is Madueke and suddenly, right, like CJ has said, you're pretty much what is it? In the NFL when the guys have to
Field
after they
goal.
score a touchdown, yeah, like a field goal. There you go. Yeah, man. So now kudos to him, and I'm proud to see that this is the João Pedro that we finally have. This is the Club World Cup, João Pedro, right? So now that he's back, oh man, yeah, no, it's uh,
I'm
it's gonna
I'm
be
not
good.
gonna lie. I'm a little disappointed with Napoli because they needed a win, and Antonio Conte typically is able to conjure something. So it was a little when I watched the highlights, like center highlights, and I was observing. It was a little odd seeing the way that Conte um, had set up his team. But again, it is what it is. They weren't able to do it. Um, just quickly looking at the bracket. I don't know if you guys have it pulled up or not. Um,
Wait, the brackets or the standings?
the stand. I mean, they have like a little bracket to see potential matchups
Where
um,
where are you seeing that?
on the Champions League website.
Oh,
Like, so Arsenal's likely opponents are either Atalanta, Leverkusen, Dortmund, or Olympiacos. Um, I mean, like to me, just face whoever. Doesn't like it. Just
really? There's not one team there where it's like, yeah, I'd rather not play those guys.
the only like to me the only team would be Olympiacos because I believe they beat us in the Europa League, right? Was it Olympiacos or was it Champions League that they beat us a while back?
Under Arteta.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I'm trying to look. Oh, that was
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Olympiacos has been a thorn in our side recently in the recent past in Europe. I know definitely under Arteta they've beaten us. I think it was in Europa League though.
yeah, it was Europa League. I mean, we faced them 9 times and we beaten them five. They beaten us four. Um, trying to find which one it was. Yeah, Olympiacos is one team that I do not want to play. If I'm being honest, but again, like this iteration of Arsenal, like just let's have at it.
Yeah, honestly,
But
our
if I'm
mentality
looking
too.
at Like if I'm looking at the next stage, like I would love to have Sporting on our side instead of Man City because I don't want to be playing Man City that many times. Um, but Man City looks like they'd be facing either Inter, Madrid, Bodo Glimt, or Benfica. So those are four tough matchups. So we have made our lives a lot easier by being first place. Um, Chelsea have an opportunity to have PSG, Newcastle, Karabag, or Monaco. And if we're being real, PSG are probably licking their lips, being like, "Okay, let's get revenge on these tools that thought
Wait,
that they."
you don't think we're licking our lips? Bro, if anything, you forget that Rossignol has managed Strasbourg in that league, right? And
Oh my days!
I sent you guys the video, the highlight of that video. That game ended 3-3. And I think it was at the Parc des Princes, if I recall correctly, right? So Rossignol is used to PSG. We're used to facing that team. So listen, from that side, I say what you say. We'll play anybody, bring him on.
Um, I don't think PSG get through Newcastle over two legs. That's
What,
my
really?
that's my controversial. Yeah, I don't think they get through them over two legs. I'm again, that's just me.
I mean, bro, they embarrassed them, bro. That game,
Who embarrassed who?
PSG, from a performance standpoint, it's just the scoreline didn't reflect it. But that game, even I mean, had PSG taken chances, it would have been gone by the first half. Barcola, I don't even think they have a left back there to keep up with the pace, right? He was getting by very, very easily. Um,
Well, they were
so
playing a midfielder and wing back. Like they went back to a back five. That's why. Like Lewis
mm,
Miley was playing
mm.
wing back, and they didn't have Bruno Guimaraes.
Oh, he didn't play?
No, he's injured.
Well, how long is that guy going to be injured for? Because
Well,
apparently
he was
they.
on the bench, but I don't think they want to risk him because of the game
Hmm.
that's this weekend. But
Mm.
over two legs, I don't think they can do it. I hear what you're saying. I don't think they have the wing backs to keep up with Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, or Dembele, but um, I
But
think
you
that's
know what? At the same time, too, I think because again, let's be real, right? Newcastle and who is it that said this? That in the Premier League,
Anthony
sorry,
Gordon.
yes, sorry, yeah,
Anthony Gordon said in
yeah,
the
in the cha
Premier League it's more of
hmm
like a basketball match because it's
hmm
so stop and go and it's
right,
free kicks
right,
and stuff. But in the Champions League it's a little open and that's what
yeah,
we have seen. That's
and
what
you
we
get to
have
play
seen.
football, right?
Yes,
And I'm gonna tell you right now that I don't think Newcastle has the pedigree, the flair, the talent to keep up with PSG when playing
absolutely
football.
right. Absolutely
Um,
right.
and I feel like that's where that slight difference, right, is going to happen. Well, they're going to bully him off the ball with, right, the likes of Joe Linton and those guys. But I don't know. I don't think they're and plus two. I do have a feeling that refs in the Champions League are more likely to not allow that kind of play, whereas in the Premier League, there's almost a certain tone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
In terms.
it's going to depend on how they perform at St. James's Park in the first leg, right?
Mm,
If they can get a 2-1 or like a 2-0 lead, that's going to completely change. They need to
mm,
go to Parc des Princes with a lead. If they're going tied, if they're going down, I think it's over, but if they can go there ahead, I
mm,
think they can do the dark arts like Atletico Madrid has always been known to doing and they can sneak a win.
mm.
Um But again, like it's unbelievable to see this is going to help our coefficient for next year and for the middle league teams that are looking for Champions League spots. Like who knows, right? Like there is an opportunity to have one, two, three, four, like four Premier League teams the round of 16. So,
The playoff draw tomorrow, right?
correct. Yeah, correct. So we'll know more tomorrow, and maybe we can quickly touch on it on our next pod, just to confirm things. Um, but yeah, we're here, top of the table, perfect, 8 for 8. We just keep it moving. And like Laurent said, it's lonely at the top.
Mm, I agree.
Uh,
I agree.
you agree?
I agree.
Um, like we've alluded to a little bit earlier, match week 24. Can you guys fucking believe in match week 24? It's almost over.
14 more.
Are you enjoying the season?
I'm enjoying it because we get to talk about it twice a week.
Yeah. It's interesting. For me, there's a part of me that's like, as you've said, the Arteta truthers have said it's like enjoy it because, and Arteta said this in his press conference this week, after the United game. Enjoy the ride. This is where we all wanted to be, right? We all wanted to be in this position years ago when we were in the mud. We were looking at Liverpool and City saying, we would love to be, in that title race, going toe to toe or miles off it. And now we're here. Now we're here. We're going through it. So whilst it's stressful, right? It's this is where we want it to be as Arsenal fans and Arsenal Football Club. So I guess we gotta enjoy it and we gotta embrace it. But I flip flop between it, and I hear different perspectives, and I hear other people, and I'm like, people are like, I'm not enjoying the season because we're not playing the greatest football, and we're still quote unquote bottling certain games. And after the United game, right, it's quickly how things can change quickly in football. Like after the United game, it's like everything is back to being in a shambles, and the season's over, and we lost, and you hear fans booing the Emirates, and it's all sounds bad again. But then it's like you put things into perspective, and it's like it's a roller coaster, right? And part of me just wants to fast forward to to May and just wake up and just know who won. I just want to know whether or not we won because there's just so much fucking stress and anxiety in between. But at the same time, it's like I might as well enjoy the ride. This is what we're here for. This is what we wanted. Like let's just take it game by game,
Do
then
you
see what
remember what
happens.
you and I were talking about in 2020 during COVID, sending voice messages to each other? Do you remember what we were talking about then?
Not specifically. I was probably pissed. I was probably
Bro, we
ranting
were
about
talking
something.
about fucking Socrates and
Oh
David
yeah,
Luiz and Lucas Torreira.
Mustafi and these guys.
I'll take this stress any day of the week.
No, that's true. That's true.
We're talking about why the fuck Socrates is playing right back or right center back when this man has zero pace. You know, like, you know, and
uh,
we all said it collectively. This year we have to try our best not to overreact. It was 3 games. 3 games that we've lost. One of them, Dominic Szoboszlai worldy. Nothing you can do about that. Yes, I said it. Maybe Zubimendi could have done better by not giving away free kick. But again, Szoboszlai still has a lot to do. So we have to respect that. Second one, Emi Buendia, last minute goal. Could we have done better? Of course we could have. But like, that's a last minute goal. And then the third one, Patrick Dorgu, who pulled his hamstring, is done for like 12 to 13 weeks because he
poor
scored a
guy.
goal that he's never going to score again and he won't even be on the roster next year. And then Cunha, unreal strike. Like, yes, there are slips. Yes, the context of these things, I'm maybe taking it a little bit out of context, but those are the 3 games that we lost. In between, we've had some abysmal draws. I think the Forest game was the worst game that I've seen us play so far this year, next to the United game. And I would say the Forest game was even worse, knowing the context going into that game, knowing if you win, the gap that you're going to get. So while I agree with you, yeah, my anxiety is through the roof, but like I love every part of it. This is what we wanted, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So, um, heading to the weekend, heading north to Elland Road, taking on Leeds, who have had some really good performances at Elland Road, right? They're no slouch. Um, they drew Everton last week. They beat Fulham at Elland Road. You know, they scored three against Newcastle at St. James's Park. They drew United at Elland Road, so they're no slouch. Um, they also need points. Right now, they're on 26, 6 points ahead of West Ham, who's in 18th spot. So it's going to be a tough game. Um, for me, like I said a little bit earlier, what I would love to see is, Raya, Timber, Calafiori, Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, back line, Zubamendi, Rice, Eze, and then Martinelli, Gyökeres, Saka. That would be the lineup that I'd want to see. Is it the lineup that we are going to see? I don't think so. I think he's going to revert back to Odegaard.
Who was your front three? Sorry, did you say like your what you
Martinelli,
want?
Gyökeres, and Saka.
Hmm.
I think Gyökeres, as much stick that he's getting, I think his work rate and how he occupies the central defenders. If you're playing an Eze and you're trying to cause more havoc, you need that. And I
Yeah,
think
he
Martinelli,
needs somebody. Sorry to cut you. He needs to get some. He needs to play with somebody who's going to get the ball up to him quickly. Who's going to play
yes,
forward passes, right?
yep,
All right.
yep, yep, yeah.
Sorry, finish. Sorry, I
No,
cut
no,
you
no,
off.
no, no. We're both on the same page. Like this isn't a game away from home that I would do this, but like if we had more of a gap, like if it was still 7 points, this would be a game where I'd be like, you play Rice as the holder, you have your back line, and you go for it, and you play, you know, an Eze and Havertz for the first half because you don't know how much legs Havertz has coming back, and then you bring on Odegaard, and then you bring on Zubamendi for the second half. First half, go for the kill, go for the jugular. But we don't have that luxury because it's 4 points. Yes, I understand City are playing Spurs, and Spurs typically beat City, but I don't want to. It's not like we don't have that margin for error. You know. Thoughts on the game, CJ?
Yeah, I'm optimistic about this one a bit, but at the same time, I know come Saturday morning I'm going to be nervous, and it's like I watched that United game last week so with so much discomfort. Anybody who would have like had a camera pan on my face at the time, I was just like nail biting. I
Were
don't know
you
why,
Ian
bro.
Wright? They kept panning
Bro,
to him,
yeah,
bro. They
yeah.
were. That was Gary Neville saying to pan to him.
Oh, was it? What a dickhead.
Yeah, if you shout out to Stick to Football, if you listen to their pod, he literally said today when I was listening to them, he's like, yeah, he's like, I was telling the producer, pan to Ian, every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, man. Fuck, man. Like, and that's like I said, this is how Arsenal fans are watching games at the moment. It's just you can tell like right that United game was just stress levels and nerves from top to bottom. And we didn't even talk about this part. Arteta, with the four subs that he made right after Dorgu scored the goal, that was unnecessary. We didn't even talk about this. He did not need to like that was a reactionary substitution. Like when we ever seen four subs at one time in the 50 something minute right after we like they just scored. It was 2-1. It wasn't the 90th minute, right? It was the 50 something minute. They just scored a wonder goal to make it 2-1. The man threw on four players, four at one time. You know what I mean? Like that screams like panic. You did not need to do that. You know what I mean? We had so much time left to get back into the game. Now you've thrown four players on. You've changed half of your outfield team, and that message is sent from the to the fans to the players. Now we're just all over the place. You know what I mean? Like we had so much time to get back into that game properly, and for you to make that immediate reactionary sub and throw on four players at one time, it was kind of like So my point is like we all just kind of we're in like it seems like we're all kind of in because we know what's at stake. We know the jeopardy, and this is why also we play our cup games at the moment different to our Premier League games. I don't know what it is when Premier League games roll around. Everybody from the fans to the players to the coaching staff to everybody just knows what's on the line and what could be the season and the jeopardy and the repercussions of not winning it again. You know what I mean? And I think there's just so much
25
on
years. Yeah.
I think there's just so much on the Premier League at the moment, and everybody connected to Arsenal Football Club knows it, right? That's why every missed pass at the Emirates lately is being meted with like a little bit of groans from the fans, and Arteta's up and down on the touchline, bro. Fuck, I don't even know if we ever talked about this before too. As a player, like Arteta's one of those coaches, right? This is why I like Arsene Wenger too, because he was, he'll coach when he has to coach, right? In training, right? He'll coach whatever. When it comes to game day, Arsene Wenger was one of the more quiet, managers. He's sitting down more often than not. He'll get up when he has to, but that's mostly to moan at the ref, not at the players. You know what I mean? Arteta's the kind of coach. He almost wants to run onto the field himself. Arteta. It's like if I'm a player, I fucking like, dude. I want to. If I was a player, I'd look at him and be like, shut the fuck up and sit down. No, I wouldn't actually say that, but that's what I'd be thinking. I play with coaches who are like that. They just don't shut up. They play the game themselves like it's a joystick. Like you're playing like FIFA. You're playing your PS5. Like you're trying to control what the players are doing. Coach,
Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
You should have seen Laurent struggling. Yeah.
But yeah,
I do agree with you though. I do. Arteta needs to. I think it was.
It's like, bro, like if you're a player,
Yeah.
you're literally tripping me out. If I'm like, especially the guys that play on the touchline, on the wing where he's on, like Timber on the right side and Saka, bro, you're like breathing down my fucking neck. It's like, shut up and sit down for a sec. Can I play the game? Like, let me play. You don't need to like be on the touchline. I saw, I think it was Scholes and Roy Keane and Gary Neville. They were a panel today or sometime this week talking about it too. Just saying that if they were the opposing player, right? Because a lot of the times when the opposing team has a throw in, right, and they're getting ready to throw the ball in, Arteta's standing right in front of them, and he's directing, he's this and that, and I'm the opposing team, and I'm like, buddy, I'm trying to throw the ball in, and you're standing in my way. That's why you see some of these guys literally push him out of the way sometimes. It's like, bro, get off the fucking touchline, sit your ass down for a second, calm down, because you're panicking the players, and you're you know what I mean? Everybody just relax, including Arteta, just sit down, because it stems from the sideline too, right? The players will feel that anxiousness and that anxiety from the coach. If the coach is up and he's animated and he's here, there, and everywhere, the players are gonna like feel that too, right? So it's I think generally just kind of everybody just needs to calm down a bit.
Take a fucking Xanax, bro.
Yeah, legit, And it's true. They talk about it this week. It was asked. Another thing was asked in I think Arteta's presser was like, do the players have like psychology coaches, right, to help them manage this time? Because if we're nervous in January, and this is what people were saying after the United game, right? That game was a bag of nerves. You can tell we're doing uncharacteristic things. If you're a bag of nerves in January and we have 14, 15 games left, bro, like, come on, you know what I mean? You got to get your shit together, right? The psychology coach has got to talk to the players and just everybody needs to calm down. Everyone needs to relax and know that this is a whole ass marathon still. There's bare games left. You know what I mean? So even talking to myself, we can't keep going into every one of these Premier League games with that much level of stress and anxiety, bro. Because by the time the season's over, our heart rates are going to be through the roof. You know what I mean? We just got to play the football and just take it game by game because there's still so much time left. And that's how I'm trying to calm myself down.
CJ, do you have a psychologist?
I might need one. Honestly, I genuinely might need one, bro. Fuck, it's getting to that point. My stress levels are through the roof.
To any listeners, viewers, if you do have a psychologist, please drop it down in the chat for CJ.
For your boy, yeah. And maybe send it over to the Arsenal dressing room, man, because those sports psychologists and those sports therapists, man, it's true, man. You need that when you're going through these tough times, or these stressful times as a players, right? Players are human beings; they'll feel it too. So, all that to say, man, like going into this weekend, it's like we got to take this. We got to remove that pressure from ourselves. And again, Arteta said it in the presser this week. We just got to live every moment and enjoy it and ride that wave, because this is where we want to be. This is where we need to be, and we can do something historical this season. So the players got to embrace that excitement and the pressure that comes with it, but you got to embrace it and you got to enjoy it. And we got to remember who we are and how we got here. You know what I mean? We're top of the league. We're doing well in all the competitions, and we got to remember, this is why we're here, and we got to embrace that and just go out and play. Just go out and play. Try and take the occasion out of it, and just play each game, and just know that we're going into this game as the better team. So play like it. You know what I mean? And just kind of calm ourselves down. And I think we will bounce back simply because we have to. I think we will bounce back. And I think with Leeds, funny enough, that this might be a good game for us in the sense that Leeds is not that kind of team that actually sits in low blocks, especially at Elland Road at home. Their fans are going to want them to go for it a little bit. They went after Liverpool. Laurent, obviously, with the Chelsea game, you'll tell us best, right? Like when they played Chelsea, they went at Chelsea, right? They were brave, right? They didn't sit in. So I think there might be spaces for us to exploit in this game, because I don't think they're going to low block too tough in this game. Like, yes, they'll have their spells, but they will come out as well. So I think that'll benefit us. So I think this is a good game for us to try and bounce back. I think it also is good for us to be away from the Emirates at the moment, because again, the home games can be, in Arsenal's position, the home games can be just as stressful, if not more stressful than away games, right? Just because of the fan expectation and the pressure. So we tend to do well away from home, and I think that will help us as well. So yeah, man, all in all, I'm excited for it, and I expect honestly 3 points, man. I think there's nothing less. We play first compared to our title rivals this weekend, right? So we
Yeah,
need to heat the pressure back onto them.
set the tone. Set the tone for the weekend. Um, Bournemouth, they're heading to the Molineux to face Wolves. Um, and the best way to put this is both teams are kind of in an awkward position on the table. Wolves are at the very, very bottom. Bournemouth, with a win, they could, depending on how the other results go, they could jump to eighth place. And if they lose, they're just falling further and further down. So it's a little odd where both teams are, but the one question I have for you both, Andoni Areola, is this his last season at Bournemouth?
Mm. I'm gonna say yes. Yeah, like he deserves a bigger move, whether or not managers and sorry other clubs sorry will come in for him. It depends on what opens up, right? Because sometimes when one position opens up at a club, it becomes like a managerial merry-go-round, right? And so it all just depends on other moving parts, I think. But he deserves a bigger move, so I think he that could potentially happen.
Laurent?
Um, I mean, I don't know about like bigger move because I don't think his managerial record is that stellar. Um,
In terms of what though? Because Thomas Franks, I mean, he wasn't stellar either. In
yeah,
terms of what we're talking about, right?
yeah, I guess I mean there's that too, right?
I mean,
But
shit, Liam Rosenior, his
Yeah.
his his record is piss poor.
yeah, but again, man, you know what I mean? Like it's different. You're different when you're a different guy, bro. You get different, bro.
Why is it different? Just tell us why it's different. What the fuck has that guy done? You didn't even know his name 3 months ago.
Bro, it's about what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, why we gotta go into the past for? It's about what he's doing, and he's doing great, and he's doing well, and that's all that matters. But that guy, Iriola, I don't know, man. I don't know. Is he doing great? Is he doing well? You see what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, no. In all seriousness, though, I feel like he's had some solid performances. I haven't followed too closely Bournemouth. He was, I think, on the Spanish side before that, right? But it seems that his, in terms of his win records, the percentages have stayed relatively the same. Um, so now I guess it comes down to, I mean, what's that it factor, right? If you're taking a guy who hasn't shown that he can excel, in terms of stats, right? Is it what? Because he's a people person? Can he manage players? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that thing that, okay, that appeals to me? I want him to manage my club, right? So, um, I personally don't know what that is for him. So again, I just wouldn't be too adamant on him getting that bigger move, as you guys say, right? Most likely just another club, mid-table or around there. Yeah.
Um, the Seagulls welcome Everton to the MX. Again, both teams, like the way the Premier League table is right now, it is so jam packed in the middle. Right, Everton with a win, depending on how the results go again, they could move up to sixth. Brighton with a win, they could move up to eighth. Each game can have such drastic movements, so both teams do have an opportunity to make noise. But I think that's going to be a very boring nil-nil draw. I don't expect anything from that game, to be honest with you. I think Everton are just going to take the joy out of that game completely.
Mhm.
Huge London derby. Huge. Two small clubs playing against each other.
Mm.
One looking for a Champions League spot, one looking to stay in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Two small clubs playing with different contexts. Both need to take risks, as that's all they can do. The
Mm-hmm.
Blues, the
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea,
The
welcome
small
West Ham.
the smallest of the small,
Smallest of the small.
but unique in the fact that this small club, ladies and gentlemen, as small as they are, is the only club to carry the crest representing the Club World Cup. Let us move on.
Delivered by who? Rosenyor?
He who shall
The
not be
the
named.
man ager, the ager of men.
But yeah, no, I think it will be a good game.
Yeah, it's
I
a
do
huge
feel
London derby.
mm, right. Yeah. Keep
Listen,
talking, man.
listen.
Keep
The,
talking with you and your anxiety levels.
Bro,
There's
Liam
no
Rosenor is the smartest, the dumbest smart man that has ever spoken. The
mm,
shit that this man says, it's like you are so stupid that you're trying to say random shit
mm-hmm,
to make yourself sound smart and intellectual and make yourself like. Have you guys ever
mm-hmm,
watched that TED Talk, "Fake It Till You Make It"?
mm, mm-hmm.
He is the depiction
Of
of
that.
"fake it till you make it."
Right. So okay, so what do you call that then when you step on the pitch, right? It's
Yeah,
game day. Your
yeah.
players are leaving the dressing room. They've just laced up the boots. The fans are cheering, and you come
Mhm.
out to a roaring crowd, man. Unknown territory, right? You just came in from a smaller club, even at Strasbourg, right? Managers calling, sorry, the owners, the club owners, hey, come manage this Chelsea side here, and you do your talking on the pitch, right? What do you call that? What do you call that? 5 wins in 6? 5 wins in 6?
I mean,
A
surely he
managerial
should do that.
bounce.
He's got a $2 billion
Uh,
squad. Let's be real.
there it is. There it is.
No,
Well,
no,
meanwhile, our
I call it a managerial bounce. That's what I call it.
listen, whatever you call it, whatever you guys call it, the fact is the guy is doing the
Will
business.
Chelsea finish top four by the end of the season?
He's
Top
doing
four.
he's doing business. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I can see it. I can
Okay.
see it.
Will
Um,
Chelsea be in the semifinal of the Champions League?
oof. I don't even know if Arsenal would be in the semifinals of the Champions League.
100%. Arsenal's going all the way.
Yeah, I'm giving you the TRE look, bro. Like,
Arsenal is going all the way. I already predicted that earlier. Arsenal is going all the way.
listen, it's even easier from your position. You guys finished the top to even see that. But again, I honestly think you highly underestimate one, just the overall stature of club of knockout football, and for this competition specifically. Um, and yeah, and I think again, best luck to you guys, right? Hope you make it as far as you do. But if that is not the case, right? Um, you'll just see that. Well, that's just knockout football, right? It's like it comes with a certain panache that you need, right?
I mean, we made it almost all the way last year with the sheer
Yeah,
number of injuries,
but you see that
and
word you're using? What's that? What's that?
and this year we have even a better squad and we have more
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
fair. That's
again,
fair.
the
Again,
question
that's
the question was
mm-hmm.
Chelsea. Like it's refreshing to know
Mm.
that the Arsenal live rent free in your mind. But simply put, will Chelsea make it to the semifinal of the Champions League? Yes or no?
I think that's still to be determined. See, I'm right. You can sense that I'm more of it's not humble, but more
No,
so
you just you're
pragmatic.
CJ, what do you call those people? What's the word I'm looking for? All talk, no game. You know, you can talk the
Mm,
talk, but you can't walk the walk.
mm,
You
mm,
know,
Mm.
you call
mm,
me out, and I put my money where my mouth is. I said Arsenal's winning the league, and I said
mm-hmm.
Arsenal's winning the Champions League, and I'm simply asking
Which I think
the
is huge.
mighty
I'm
Chelsea wearing the crest,
listen.
wearing the crest that you're always saying,
You would have said
and
that
saying
last
that they
year.
won two titles,
Mm-hmm.
right? Two
Mm-hmm.
Champions Leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you simply, will they get to the
Wow,
Champions League semifinal.
that's
Yes or no?
crazy.
And you're saying
It only t Listen, it only took you 6 years to build these cojones that you have currently in today's time. It only took you 6 years, eh, to get to the point where you can feel comfortable about, yeah, we're gonna make it to the semifinals of the
yeah,
Champions
because we
League and
didn't
we're gonna win
cheat
it
to
all.
build our squad. We didn't just spend $1 billion over a
Uh,
year.
Mm.
oh my gosh, man. All of this again, this cheating. This listen, this is where I side with the Man City fans, bro. Bro, money runs the world, as they say, right? So if you got to do what you got to do, then you got to do what you got to do. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if you guys were doing that, bro, you would not be saying a word about it. If you guys did exactly what Man City did and you won 4 trophies back to back to back to back, I would not hear a single word out of you to denounce what you are denouncing now.
Yeah, but that wouldn't happen with us because we've never had
Uh,
that club culture.
again, listen, I think it's all like theoretical at this point. But in regards to the question, will Chelsea be in the semifinals? That I cannot tell you at this point. It's still too early. Um, we'll have to see how Roar Senior progresses. Um, maybe with more claps here and there at training. Who knows, bro? Who knows?
Okay. But I'm assuming you're predicting a Chelsea win this weekend.
Yes, that I will be. I will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you
so
sure? West Ham are
they're in
informed.
form.
Yeah, so are we.
Bro, it's a huge London derby. Don't estimate the London derby, man.
No,
I'm telling you.
I don't. But the one thing I've noticed is we do seem to have greater stability in the back. Apart from that whole Reece James, right? Trying him out as a center back. Our build up is looking good. Sanchez is looking pleasant on the eyes,
Oh
man.
my gosh.
I gotta say, you see, and again, I know you guys don't watch the games. I know for a fact you guys don't watch the game. That guy has his error rate has gone down significantly from that first game under Rosinho, which is something that makes sense, bro. You're under a new manager. You're not used to it, right? If you talked about the anxiety of you watching games, just imagine what it is as for a player, right? You guys say we're all human. Yeah, just imagine what it's like for a player to come in under a new authoritative figure trying to implement a new type of system. And we already know that Sanchez is not the best on the ball. So okay, that could take a little bit more adapting to. But so far, bro, his composure, even against that game in Napoli, and he's built this out a lot. So yeah, top keeper in my opinion.
We're gonna see how smart Liam Rosinier is
Rossignol,
because
please. Rossignol.
Rosinier, because you guys play the afternoon game, the late game on Saturday,
Mm,
and a few days later you face Arsenal in the League Cup.
mm.
So we'll see. And I think you're underestimating West Ham in this game. It should be a Chelsea win. Should.
So
Keyword
what are
should.
you predicting? What are you predicting?
Me?
Hmm.
Predicting predicting what? Predicting in that game?
Yeah, for that game. For that game?
Predicting a draw.
Mm. Okay.
Did you want me to lock it in?
By all means, man.
Okay.
By all means.
We'll predict it. There's locked in.
Can I ask you something, Laurent? Though, so you know how you were talking about the bravery and how like amped and animated you were with the bravery and the fact that he played Reece James at center back and the cojones and all that.
Mm.
Would you admit? I'm sure you would admit that you can't get away with that in the Premier League, right? We all know cup games in the Premier League is a different ball game. In the Premier League, week in week out, he couldn't get away with that back line setup and be successful.
No, because for one, I think too with the Premier League, it's a lot more rugged. I think it's more physical. And you do need a more so composed center back in that position, right? Um, and I mean, fair enough, right? Hence why he did it. He did it then. You see what I'm saying? And right, who knows the insight, the data that he was able to gain from there. Um, but yeah, no, in the Premier League, I don't think he would have gone with that. But again, I will say this is when I'm watching, and I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the one thing I will credit him for is his ability to adapt on the fly, even with the substitutions, with changing tactics, right? That is something that is at the again, you're laughing, Murdad. But hey man, Michel
This
Arteta,
is
right?
Because
Mich
it's
Mich
almost like
Mich
you've never had a coach. Like you're
Bro,
having
we
this
saw Michelle Arteta.
orgasm.
Yeah,
You're
we
having this
saw,
orgasm about a fucking coach that is
bro.
just doing his job.
Nah, nah,
You know
nah,
what I mean?
nah. See,
Like I
and
like
I know you
it's
do that. I know you do that. I know you like to undermine. You don't want to give the credit where it's due. But
my
bro,
friend, it's 5 games. He walked into $1 billion squad. What
bro,
credit? What
that's not.
street cred do you want me to give him?
Yo, didn't wait, who lost to Benfica just the other day, right? That's a step, bro. That's a. You tell
You're
me, bro.
okay.
You
Hold on,
tell
hold on,
me
hold on. Surely, hold on. Time
if
out, time
Art
out, time
if
time out, time out, time out, time out.
if
Hold
Arteta
on.
is doing
Time
this
out,
with Arsenal, imagine
time
what he'd
out,
be doing with Real Madrid if he were to manage it, right? Like
time out, time out. Surely you're not putting this PA teacher in the same breath as arguably one of the best managers of all time. Surely you're not doing that.
wait, who are you referring to?
Jose.
No, that's not who I'm referring to. I'm referring to the Real Madrid manager, the current Real Madrid manager.
Yes, he's a caretaker manager. And
Now see,
Jose,
there's always this caveat. There's always this caveat. The point is, he came into a club, right? And that club is worth I don't know how much. The pedigree, the culture, the identity, the player. Bro, you have Mbappe, Vinny, like any player on most players on that team start on other teams, and they still could not, right, finish a game that they were meant to like, bro. They lost to Benfica in such embarrassing fashion that it's actually like, bro, come on, man, it's disappointing. So it just goes to show you, bro, it's not just the name on paper, on your squad. No, that's not how it works. If football worked like that, bro, a lot of managers would be getting away with it. A lot of
yeah, but
it'd be
that's
like
also
automatic
the
success.
Jose factor that you're not giving
I
credit
mean,
to.
I know Jose is a special one, but yeah, at the same time too, bro, like that team, that it should not have ended like that, right? And what I'm trying to say is this. What I'm trying to say is this: is that even Pochettino did not have a good start with Chelsea. A lot of managers do not have good starts, flying starts, right? And for him to come in and we're looking composed. The football is different. You have to give credit. You cannot, bro. There is no way, even versus you guys. Garnacho, right? Like that, like these the substitutions that he's making that or substitutions that actually have direct impact on the game. It changes the tide of games. You have to credit that because it's the manager making those executive decisions. Who else are you going to credit? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm demanding that you stop treating my manager, right, like he's Arnie Slot. That's what I'm demanding at this point, because it seems that whatever business you got over there, you're taking that over here. Is that fair?
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, 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 we're good.
All right. Got them all fucked up. This is you know. Speaking of Arnie Slot, huge game for them. Liverpool welcome Newcastle to Anfield. Could be heavyweight match. Could not be. Arnie Slot could get fired. Arnie Slot could not get fired. Who knows? Do we do we think it's gonna be a goal fest or do we think it's gonna be a snooze fest?
I'm saying not snooze fest. I don't think it's gonna be a snooze fest. Um, what's Newcastle's position? They're pretty low on the table, right?
They're struggling. Sorry, they're not struggling. They're on 33 points. So if they win, they can move up. They can move uh,
Yeah,
They
they
ahead of
overtake
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah.
So it's a huge game for both small clubs.
mm. Yeah, no, I think I feel like they're both gonna go for it, man. If I'm being honest, I can see them both going for it. Um, what I'd be interesting to see is because well, you asked me, CJ, if he would do that in the Premier League. I'm pretty sure Slot is not gonna put Gravenberch in the
Hell
Bundesliga.
No.
no.
So
Hell no.
who's
And he's
gonna
got
go
to
there?
figure out who's playing right back. It's going to be, if
Right.
he plays Sabasai at right back, Anthony Gordon is going to have a field day.
Mm,
Calling it
You think
right now.
so?
Yeah, 100%.
mm.
100%. Anthony Gordon is a fucking pest.
You know why I don't think so though? You remember, I think the first time the three of us watched Liverpool Newcastle earlier this season, and it was one of the first games that he played Shabazz at right back, and we said, "Why is he doing that?" And he played that same Anthony Gordon, and it worked for them. Remember, they won. Do you guys remember they won 3-2 at St James's Park, and that the young boy scored in the last dying embers of the game. Do you guys remember that game earlier
Yeah,
this season?
yeah.
It was the same kind of thing. Shabazz played right back. Gordon was on the left wing, and Shabazz had him in his pocket. So
Wait, are you talking about the game where the Mumbai or
Yeah,
yeah,
Ingram.
I think
scored
the
the?
game ended 3-2, I believe.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
I don't know. I just have a. I think Anthony Gordon's gonna come back, and he's rested. Sabasai played. Oh, sorry, Sabasai didn't play, but both rested. I just. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and I've
Is
been
Joe
wrong.
Gomez fit? Because maybe that's an option for them there if he's
I
fit.
Slot doesn't rate Gomez for some reason. I don't understand why.
Really, eh?
Yeah, he. I mean, he hasn't been play like he'll probably play Endo before Joe
Jeez.
Gomez. Oh, Sabasai did play, so yeah, we'll see. Um, Aston Villa, they're hosting Brentford. Villa can, you know, keep things close with Arsenal, or they may drop points. Brentford, again, 33 points. They could go tied with Liverpool for sixth. There's a lot of these middle table teams that have big games. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't think so. I really
See,
don't
now
think so.
with Villa though, what I'm interested in seeing are the new signings, the reinforcements that they brought in.
Hmm.
Um, Douglas Luiz and Abraham. Now, if you guys remember last season around this time, Unai did the same thing, right? He brought in reinforcements that did help him push um, on different in different fronts, right? That he was competing in, and I think it's the same type of play here, if I'm being honest. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like again, like I don't know, from an Arsenal perspective, right? Maybe I'm, a little eyebrow raised, right? Because if they keep going, right, and if they keep picking up points, then the race is still pretty close, right?
You're right. I mean, they did play Thursday night against
Hmm.
Salzburg.
Hmm.
Sorry, Leipzig, I believe. They won 3-2. A lot of their starters did play. They are missing Bubakar Kamara.
Oh, Salzburg, yeah. It was Salzburg. I watched
So,
that game actually today.
yeah. So
Mm.
again, they've shown from last week. They've shown that they can win after playing on short rest. We'll see. I mean, Douglas Luiz definitely knows Unai system because he played in Unai system. Tammy Abraham, who knows what he can do? He wasn't that good at Chelsea, and I don't think he was given the time. But when he went to Italy, he did look pretty decent at Milan for a little bit. So, um, yeah. United, fourth place. United. Julian, this is for you, my friend. This this game, this game is gonna tell us truly what United is made of. Facing Fulham, they're on 34 points. If they win, they can jump, depending on how the results go again, they can jump into fifth place. This is the game where United typically would squander. Harry Wilson has been on fire. CJ, you need to get him in your FPL. I'm not going to tell you again. He's been on fire. Do you guys, am I just reading into this too much, or do you guys think United are just going to slap up?
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I got no idea how this thing's gonna go. Zero clue.
I agree.
Because those two games, I don't even know what the hell that was.
Mm.
Um, and I don't know. Apparently, there's talks now of even making Carrick like
Mm.
a permanent
Mm.
appointment, right? And I mean, to be fair, if he if somehow some way he does keep performing, I think that it's warranted. It's actually
If
it's
he
just
maintains fourth spot
mm,
and gets it even closer to Villa and City, 100%. But
mm,
if he drops out of the top four,
mm.
with the likes of like Luis Enrique, Thomas Tuchel, Julian Nagelsmann, uh,
Maresca.
sorry,
Maresca.
yeah, but I think Maresca is going to go to City. Even Eddie Howe,
So you think so if sorry, I know we're shifting gears for a sec. So if you think that Maresca is gonna go to City, you think Pep is done after the
yeah,
season then?
yeah. I think he signed the contract last year just to put like to shut the noise.
Mm.
So even if he wins, you're saying he's done?
Yeah, I think if he wins, that's even more so that he'll kind of walk in the sunlight. If he doesn't win, I think it'll be a little bit harder.
Mm.
Wow, Fulham is sitting in seventh, man. Yeah, you're right. That's how crazy the table is.
Yeah, you guys were making
Where
fun
where
of me.
did
Marco Silva knows what he's doing, man.
where did that come from? That's crazy.
Harry Wilson, my friend. Harry frickin' Wilson. He's been scoring nonstop. Last three games, Palace going to the City Ground to face Forest. Again, both clubs need a win. Palace do not want to be dragged into a relegation battle. They're currently sitting on 28 points, and Forest, they're just trying to keep the gap the same at 5 points and extending that gap between them and West Ham. There's rumors that Glasner wants to be sacked. Forest apparently are going in for Mateta, which is very
That's
ironic.
crazy. Eh? Yeah.
Um,
I think they got the here we go on that, no? I think that's close to being done, if I'm not
do we get the here
mistaken.
we go?
Wait, why would he go there though?
Honestly, bro, it doesn't that whole thing doesn't make any sense to me.
He just because he doesn't want to play for another coach. Sean Philippe Mateta. Let's see. Does it say
Oh, so you're
anything?
saying Glasner to Forest and then he follows suit.
Oh, so Jorgen Strand Larson is going to go to Palace,
Palace.
and then
Yeah.
Mateta is going to go to Forest. Oh,
So what, I guess
Juventus is looking at him as well.
it's like a swap.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, Strand Larson, he's at Wolves, is he?
Wolves, yeah, he's at Wolves.
So it wouldn't be a swap. It's like a kind of domino effect. Because
Mm.
Palace had to get Strand Larson in order to replace Mateta. That's what it's looking like. But yeah, that's so strange. Why would Mateta go to Forest?
Nah,
I actually
man.
don't get that.
Bro, if I'm his agent, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, if he goes
Yeah,
to Juve, it wouldn't be bad, but
that's a good move, Juve. But like you're in the prime of your career, you're just getting in the France squad.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, there's
surely your
that
next
too.
step up should be to a bigger club.
Mm.
yeah.
And what's crazy though, had Eze stayed on that team, I think his numbers would have looked even better. And
Mm.
As a
yeah,
and Gahey.
yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, arguably the biggest matchup of the weekend: Spurs hosting City, the Thomas Frank Bowl. Doesn't look like he's going to be sacked. Spurs typically beat City, and will our North London rivals do us a favor, CJ?
Hmm.
Will the boys in white beat the boys in blue?
Fuck, man, you actually cannot rely on Tottenham for anything. But this is one of those games where they can just pull something out, man. Even if they get us do us a solid and just get a draw out of this, man. But
I
like,
mean,
fuck
they
that.
have to win, in my opinion. Like, look, they're 28 and 17th place is 25 points. You know what I'm saying? So,
It's a must win for them.
uh,
Spurs is a must win.
must win for both teams.
It is
Oh
a
yeah,
must win for both teams.
Yeah.
But will they go for it? I was seeing fucking funny ass memes and comments from their fans this week saying if Spurs beat City this week, then surely Thomas Frank should get sacked. And that's with all banter because of the Arsenal factor, right? Like Spurs will, and I said this to some of my Spurs mates this week. I said, "So you guys gonna roll over and die this week for City to beat you?" Because the last thing Spurs fans want is for Arsenal to win the
it's
league, right? So they much rather lose this game on purpose
Oh,
so that we don't win the league. To be
that
honest,
is actually hilarious.
yeah,
you saw a few. Was it last year or the year before when Son
And called him
was,
out, right?
yeah, yeah,
Is that what you were gonna say?
yeah, exactly.
When that's when he
When
fell out of favor with the fans.
yeah, because
That was the
Son
start
was
of it.
on a breakaway and he missed, and the fans were cheering. And because if Son had scored, they would have won the game, and that pretty much would have handed Arsenal the
Yeah, yeah.
Premier League.
Mm.
Fuck, I'll never forget that, bro.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Last game, last undefeated team at home, Sunderland. I wonder what the odds of that would have been to put, $5 to say Sunderland is gonna not lose a game at home by January. That probably would have been an insane return. And they host their promoted rival Burnley. I mean, I do not see Sunderland losing this game at all. I think
Mm.
Sunderland are gonna destroy Burnley.
Really, eh? Burnley has been decent actually lately. They've been pretty resolute, pretty tough to beat. I still think
Yeah,
Sunderland will win, but I don't think it's gonna be like a slap, to be honest.
we'll find out. When was the last time they played each other? They played last time it
I
was
think
oh
it was a
wow, last
draw.
no, last time August 23rd they
Oh, Burnley won.
beat yeah, Turfmoor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember watching some of that game.
So um predictions leaderboard, big moves. Big
Hold on,
moves.
hold on,
This is
hold
the
on, Murder. We have
sunglasses.
to. Everyone, round of applause.
CJ, I didn't know the season comes to an end in January. But anyways, Mr. Piana, first place for the first time ever in his career.
Mm. Jeez, too
Sometimes
bad
when
it.
you're
And I'm a surf. Shout out to Cunha.
yes, typically we try to be humble when we're at the top, but knowing that this is your first time, we'll allow the sunglasses. 55 points for Laurent. I'm on 54. CJ's on 53. Let's get right into it. Arsenal leads. I got Arsenal.
I got Arsenal as well.
Yeah, we're back in the boys, man. Come on, Arsenal.
Chelsea, West Ham. I got draw. Laurent's got Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Liverpool, Newcastle.
Mm.
Liverpool.
Liverpool, eh?
Oh, this is tough.
I'm gonna say draw.
Hmm. I'm gonna go Liverpool as well.
Wow. And then last but not least, we're gonna add a fourth game this week.
Hey,
Spurs City.
I'm going City.
You're going City. Wow. Not see that coming.
Hmm.
You know what? You guys are gonna be shocked, but I'm going Spurs.
Mm.
Hmm. So I gotta make a prediction with my heart or my head here. Um, but unfortunately, I
Say
think
City.
City. City, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a very high possibility that I may fall to third place after this weekend,
Or you get a big boost.
or I get a big boost.
Mm.
Um, you know what, Mr. Piana, take us away since you're
Uh,
top of the leaderboard.
Put the shades back on
now
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
guys,
put the shades
yo,
back.
yeah, we gotta ask the audience. You guys want the shades back on? All right, all
Yeah,
right.
put the shades back on. Yeah. Woo. Yeah.
All right, well, back again with another episode, another banger, and we're getting into the thick of things in the season. Champions League draw this Friday, and we get to find out right how the bracket everything shapes up, and then from there we'll be dropping big episodes. We're gonna ramp up the energy, right? None of that coming in into the podcast melly mellow. Nah, man, we going in with that Liam Rose Nor energy from beginning to end. We're clapping. And yeah, man, thanks for everyone. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, for staying with us, for enjoying the content, liking, subscribing. We're here for y'all. And yeah, we couldn't do this without you guys. So much appreciated. Much appreciated. And as they say, it's lonely at the top. So with that, share, hit the like button, subscribe, and see you guys in a few days. Let's get it.
Adios.